हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल द सोलफुल डायरी। आज के वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे फिलिप लार्किन की पोम आफ्टरनून्स के बारे में। पोएट के बारे में हम पहले एक वीडियो में डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, जिसका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में। चलिए आज पोम को इन डेप्थ डिस्कस करते हैं। पोम को इन डेप्थ डिस्कस करने से पहले जान लेते हैं उसके कुछ की फीचर्स। आफ्टरनून्स by Philip Larkin presents a brief depiction of post-war Britain. He explores less than ideal family relationships and gives the period an overall gloomy tone. The poem is set out in three unrhymed stanzas of 8 lines each. Larkin was known for his concise and succinct writing, and this poem is no exception. Alas, afternoon sees him in less than chipper humor, casting a cynical eye on suburban life. Never the most paternal, he says of his contemporary indoctrination. Why did he think that adding meant increase? To me, it was dilution. Afternoons and its dreary depiction of domestic life would seem to sum up the sentiment. This poem was published in Arkin's anthology, The Wits and Weddings. चलिए पोम को इन डेप्थ डिस्कस करते हैं। स्टैंजा 1 Summer is fading, the leaves fall in ones and twos from trees and bordering the new recreation ground. In the hollows of afternoons, young mothers assemble at swing and sandpit, setting free their children. The modern opening line, "Summer is fading," indicates that the changing of the seasons may be a metaphor for the progression of life, and here it suggests that the passing of summer mirrors the youthful flourish of the young mothers, which is fading too. This is the start of autumn, thus the leaves fall in ones and twos. But the implication is that soon they will shed all their leaves as winter beckons, although the recreation ground is new. Larkin counters this by describing the hollows of the afternoons, implying that there is sadness, even an emptiness to these lives. Young mothers assemble at swing and sandpit, setting free their children. Even the choice of the words assemble suggests that there is something regimented about their existence. There is a gloominess to home life. Hence, they are setting free their children from the confines of the house. The sibilant sound almost gain momentum here, signifying the children running off to play. Although not a parent himself, Larkin could be said to be quite perceptive here, as afternoons with very young children can drag in that hinterland between late afternoon and dinner time. He seems to capture that weariness here. There are two. Behind them, at intervals, stand husbands in skilled trades, an estate full of washing, and the albums lettered are wedding line. Near the television, before them, the wind is ruining their courting places. In the second stanza, there is an even more unromantic depiction of married life, since the couples do not stand together but the men linger behind at intervals. Larkin has quite the gift for seeing the glass half empty. He seems to be making a social comment about the men being in skilled trades, hence making the assumption that they are not interested in cultural or intellectual pursuits. After the Second World War, new housing developments were designed by the speaker soon takes the shine of these as he notes them as being merely an estate full of washing. These young couples are suddenly shackled to a life of domestic drudgery. Marriage has lost its luster, or would certainly seem to, since the once cherished wedding album is now lying abandoned by the television. Even the fact that the words "our wedding" are italicized seems to gently mock the institution. Before them, the wind is ruining their courting places. The final line of this stanza suggests that their romance has faded. Children and the monotony of life has gradually taken the sheen of these relationships, just as the wind physically disturbs their former meeting places. Stanza 3. They are still courting places, but the lovers are all in school, and their children, so intent on finding more unripe acorns, expect to be taken home. Their beauty has thickened, something is pushing them to the side of their own lives. Poetic devices. In afternoons, Philip Larkin primarily uses everyday language and a colloquial tone, along with alliteration, consonants, assonance, and repetition, to evoke a sense of ordinariness and the passage of time. While employing metaphor, he doesn't rely heavily on the other figures of speech, focusing instead on capturing the realism of ordinary lives. Colloquial language. Larkin uses a conversational style mirroring ordinary speech, which allows the poem to feel relatable and realistic. Alliteration and consonants. Repetitive sounds of consonants and vowels, example swing and sandpit, emphasize the dull repetition of life. Assonance. Repeating vowel sounds, example trees and leaves, adds a gentle musicality and subtly echoes the falling of leaves. Repetition. The repetition of phrases or ideas highlights the cyclical and repetitive nature of mothers' lives. Metaphor. While not overused, metaphors like beauty has thickened convey the subtle changes and passing of time. Symbolism. Larkin uses natural imagery such as trees and acorns to symbolize the mother's role in the children's life, their own aging, and the relentless march of time. Parentical insertion. The use of parenthesis to separate the lovers from the rest of the stanza in the second stanza emphasizes the stark reality of their relationship and separation. Themes. The poem Afternoons by Philip Larkin explores the themes of marriage, the passage of time, motherhood, and the futility of existence. It focuses on the lives of young mothers watching their children on a housing estate playground, highlighting their routine, their loss of individuality, and their inevitable decay of time. Marriage and families. The poem portrays marriage as a force that can confine and routine the lives of young mothers. The mention of wedding albums and the husband standing behind them at intervals suggests a sense of distance and routine within these marriages. Passaging of time and transience of life. Larkin uses the imagery of changing seasons and the daily activities of the mother to emphasize the relentless passage of time. The phrase "in hollow of afternoons" and the fallen leaves symbolize the decline and fading of beauty and vibrancy in motherhood. The poem focuses on the experience of young mothers on a housing estate playground, highlighting their routine, their interactions with their children, and the way their lives have changed since becoming mothers. The poem suggests that motherhood can lead to a loss of individuality and a feeling of being pushed to the side of their own lives. Futility of existence. Larkin's poem suggests a sense of emptiness and a lack of purpose in the lives of these young mothers. The mention of an estate full of washing and the idea that something is pushing them to the side of their own lives evokes a sense of monotony and resignation. Social class and isolation. The poem implicitly critiques the social realities of housing estates and the potential for isolation and routine within these communities. The husbands are described as working in skilled trades, suggesting a sense of working class life and a potential lack of intellectual or social engagement. थैंक यू। आई होप आज की वीडियो आपको पसंद है। कैसी लगे हमें कमेंट करके बताएं और हमें ये भी कमेंट करके बताएं कि आप आने वाली वीडियोस किस टॉपिक पर देखना चाहते हैं। अगर वीडियो अच्छी लगी तो लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब टू माय चैनल। मिलते हैं कल एक और इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियो के साथ शाम 4 बजे। टिल देन कीप वॉचिंग एंड कीप सपोर्टिंग द सोलफुल डायरी। थैंक यू।